Well, good evening, everyone, and happy Monday. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you for taking time from your day, wherever you are and whatever you're doing, whatever time zone you're in, to be here. We are grateful. And every time we come together as a team, it is to keep our focus and remind us of our mission, which is inspiring healthy living around the world. That's the greater mission. And I don't know about you guys, but I've been talking to people a lot the last week or so, listening to Juice Plus stories, asking customers about why they added Juice Plus, what they love about it. And I'm as inspired as I've ever been to keep on shining the light for health and hope right now and to help other people. So we are the Mission Possible team, and our vision and our mission statement is that we are a growing team of inspired individuals, ambassadors dedicated to change, to making a difference in people's lives. And so thank you for what you're doing right now to love on people, to make a difference, to bring people all along. So tonight, we are so blessed to have a special speaker. Kristy Klamer came to my house for a pajama regional last year, I think, sometime. Kristy, I think that was the first time we met. Kristy is from Michigan, but she and her husband moved here into the Middle Tennessee area, and she was boot camp house. I mean, not boot camp. She was pajama regional house hopping. She came to mine, and then she went to somebody in somebody else's place. So that's just the kind of person Kristy is. She and her husband, as you heard me say earlier, have a love to travel, made to travel thing that they do, and it's fun watching them. But I'll just share a few things with you about Kristy. Um, she said it was 7 years ago that she was introduced to fruits and vegetables, whole food nutrition in a capsule. And it said it was after she said after her juicing experience, thinking, and it sounded like a Wendy Campbell experience, right? Well, I'll just go juice all that. After my juicing experience, I began to appreciate all that Juice Plus really was and to pay attention. She is passionate about her faith, her country, and helping other people with their health. And you may know, if you've been following Kristy at all, you may know that she's most well known for right now for doing 30 sourdough parties in 30 days. Insane, Kristy. You're driving me nuts. I don't know how duplicatable what that is, but probably not. But I will say it catapulted her business to a whole new level. And her favorite event right now are through wellness retreats and helping people, women, become more whole emotionally, spiritually, and physically, and serving others through her mission of inspiring healthy living. And so she loves helping people live life to the fullest. And so we heard Kristy do a talk for Wendy Campbell's team some time ago on embracing the brave. And I think we're all in an area right now where we need to embrace some brave things. So I've invited Kristy to come and share her story and just what she's doing. So welcome, Kristy. And you'll need to unmute.
All right. You hear me now?
Yes.
All right. Well, thanks, Sharon. Thanks so much for inviting me tonight. And yes, I was PJ regional hopping because I had to make some friends. So wanted to be efficient in that. And I appreciated just how you always open up your home to so many for all these different events. So I'm really grateful to be able to share with you guys tonight a little bit of my heart. I'm going to be diving a little deep, and I'm hoping you're all ready to dive deep with me. I'm wanting to share a bit of my journey and how I've learned to embrace the brave me, which, by the way, you never stop. You continue to do it. This week, I've had to continue doing it. So my Juice Plus journey, as Sharon was kind of saying, started about a year after investing in expensive vitamins, and my husband and I only juiced for a month. I understood how much time and money it took to flood your body with lots of nutrition. Yet, when introduced to Juice Plus, I said, no, thank you, for about a year to Ethany Defoe, if you know her, before finally saying yes to this gift of nutrition and becoming a partner. I never meant for it to become a business. Actually, I was quite animate. That was not my desire. But once educating myself and deeply understanding the implications for all of those around me, I began to share with anyone I could how important it was to get these extra fruit and vegetables capsules in them daily. After experiencing our community, I was sold that I wanted to be on this mission of sharing this easy button. Those who know me usually see me as this outgoing, energetic, and confident Kristy. Some might say I'm not afraid of doing new things, or even maybe would consider me brave. But what most don't know is the incredibly hard emotional roadblocks I've had to overcome to not allow my past to define my future. I think when we begin this business, we usually have some level of excitement or anticipation, similar maybe to a newly married couple starting their life together. We are enjoying helping people with their health, we are loving our community. But what we don't realize at first, though, is that there's a few things hiding around the corner. Um, then, not too far along in our journey, they make their appearance. It's the hard, it's growth, it's our internal struggles. We prefer to just be left where they are, hidden. We get triggered. The stories begin to play in our heads. We begin to feel the uncomfortableness and begin to question if this is really the right fit for us. Although I can't tell you whether this mission is for you or not, I do know that only those who decide to press into the hard will get to understand the benefits of doing so. A very real reality you begin to realize is that you cannot grow your business if you are not determined to grow you. The quality of conversations we have with ourselves will often determine the quality of our life and of our business. If you don't take risks, you will work for someone else who did. Now, let's talk a little bit about courage. I believe a truth that pertains to every one of us, and one we really all need to embrace, is the fact that we all have the power to choose. We get to decide how we are going to respond to that which makes us feel uncomfortable or even scared. We can choose courage or we can choose comfort, but we cannot choose both. Being brave is not about the absence of fear, but it's about feeling the fear and doing it afraid. If you choose courage, you will absolutely know failure, disappointment, and heartbreak. That's why it's called courage, and that's why it's rare. But we must invest a reasonable amount of time of attending to these fears and our feelings, or we will waste an unreasonable amount of time trying to manage ineffective and unproductive behavior. What is something you can think of right now in your business, or maybe just in your life, that you've known you need to push yourself to do, but you're struggling to commit to due to a fear of failure, or maybe a fear of what others might think? What conversation or situation are you avoiding to protect yourself from those avoid at all cost feelings? Here's the thing, you will continue to have these situations arise that you are going to challenge you to grow and do the brave thing until you finally say, that's it. I can do this. I'm not going to let fear win. Facing your fear and realizing you did the thing that was threatening to paralyze you gives you this huge sense of confidence and accomplishment. It's just taking that first step to commit. That is what is the hardest. I'm here to tell you, friend, you've got this. I believe in you, and I know you can do it. I remember the days following my decision to quit my job, which was about a year actually after I started, and I put all my focus into Juice Plus. And I remember the thoughts that began to flood my mind. What if this doesn't work? What if I just threw away a really good job I worked so hard for to do something I can't succeed at? What if I'm not capable of leading a bunch of people to do this business? I remember feeling real fear, fear of failing, of looking stupid for my decision. I've come to learn that every time you do something that takes courage, fear is right there waiting for you, hoping you become best friends. So the question is, what do you choose at that moment to do? Or better yet, what are you choosing right now to do with the situation that keeps popping up in your mind? Let's talk about a few things that I believe are at the core of what often keeps us from doing or being all that God has called us to do or be. It's what I believe holds so many of us back in this business. It's what I believe every leader at the top has had to face. It has felt like a close companion in my own life. I've wished it would just disappear or never rear its ugly head again, but to my dismay, I've come to realize it's not something any of us can truly escape. It's these feelings of rejection. Rejection is one of the most difficult feelings. We often won't even realize that a situation is making us feel this way, but our response is to get rid of the feeling as soon as possible. We often will respond in sincere fear, like someone who believes someone is about to do surgery on their heart without any anesthesia. I believe that's often why we respond the way we do when we are being challenged to go deeper, to look inward, to move towards the hard, and to begin dealing with whatever it is that is causing us this deep sense of fear or insignificance or pain. These feelings I have known very well for many years. As I took a look and going trip down memory lane, I began to remember the many experiences I've had that began this journey for me. As a child, I remember the day I was called stupid by a parent for simply doing something differently than how they would have done it. Or the dating relationship where everything I did or said was met with an accusation. Then there was my previous marriage where I was told I'm incapable of being able to love. I'll always remember my counselor looking at me with compassion in his eyes and saying, I think what Kristy is wondering is, why am I so hard to love? I remember the tears flowing down my face as I heard him speak those words and wondered how he somehow saw straight into my heart. I've had years of people close to me telling me what's wrong with me, why I'm hard to love, and why what I do is never really good enough. Rejection has never been foreign in my life. I don't share this for you to feel sorry for me. I share it because you need to know I understand. I understand the pain that comes when people who are hurting themselves have access to your heart and cause deep pain. I understand the mountains that need to be climbed when growing our business. I understand how it takes tremendous courage to push through when the feelings of rejection are something that don't really ever fully go away. You are not alone on this journey. I think most of us can remember words that have cut us deeply. We begin our Juice Plus journey, and then situations or conversations come about where we feel it again, that sting of rejection. It could come from our intentions being misunderstood, or maybe no response to a text where we just poured out our heart. I have a friend that I really admire. She has said to me, I'm always looking to do hard things. And I've watched her have her own internal struggles on this journey with Juice Plus and watched her lean in and process the negative feelings along with the positive ones. I've watched her press in and embrace them and say, how can I grow myself in this situation? Being able to sit with and acknowledge our negative feelings without making them our identity is something that requires a lot of growth and maturity on our part. It won't happen without being extremely intentional. This is where many, I would say, get stuck. The truth is, many of us have decided the possibility of pain overrides the opportunity of success or reaching that next goal. We want to stay where it feels safe. And with that, many of us forfeit what could be because it just feels too dang scary. If we want to grow our business, we have to grow ourselves. It's time. Time to pursue healing because healing will not pursue you. Shame, regret, fear, bitterness, detachment, that is what will pursue you. It's time to no longer allow those things that have been said to you or about you to define you. When we define ourselves by what others think or what others have said, it's hard to be brave. It's time to no longer let those things hold us back from what we were created for. I believe the words that were meant to break you are what is going to make you an overcomer, make you someone who gives others hope, make you someone who is safe and others trust, make you that strong leader impacting hundreds, if not thousands in this business. Rejection is a sign you showed up. Be proud of yourself for stepping forward despite the outcome. Rejection tests whether you are serious about your dreams. Your reaction to rejection shows the health of your heart. Now, something we don't talk nearly enough about is how not everything that feels like a rejection is a rejection. I think in our business, when we share the product or business and someone doesn't jump on board or someone doesn't respond to our text or come to that event, we often feel rejection. We become obsessed with their yes. Disciplining our minds to seek truth instead of affirming our beliefs is a very hard thing. I want you to think about something. Is whether that yes to Juice Plus or your event somehow wrapped up in you feeling valued? Are you attaching your self-worth to what you do or don't accomplish? We need to stop obsessing about the yeses. If you live for people's acceptance, you will die from their rejection. You don't want to give anybody that much control over your life. For that event you hosted, whether you have a kitchen full of women or no one showed up, you are loved. Whether that person is excited to begin flooding their body with our capsules or they seemed completely uninterested, you matter. This is where we need to take ownership of our own thoughts and process that what's really going on deep inside of us. Your worst enemy isn't a person, a situation, or a thing. It's the story in your mind based on assumptions and projected fears or insecurities. What we think becomes our story. Weeds need to be pulled. As Catherine Lee has said, we need to declare war on thoughts that are not serving us. You can only go as far as your beliefs will let you. What we need to begin obsessing over is our own personal growth. Yet, when challenged to grow, we often come up with all the reasons we feel the freedom to dismiss the challenge to grow or heal in certain areas. We say things like, this just isn't who I am, or I'm just not good at, you fill in the blank, or that is the past, I've moved on. We've all been guilty of it. Growth requires humility. Growth requires vulnerability. Two things, in my opinion, we don't really embrace as a culture. Actually, I will get even more bold to say we push back on it and find it very difficult to accept. Your growth and courage is contagious, and also essential. We are responsible to create the culture of courage and growth, and we do that by leading the way with our example. Whether that's with our Juice Plus team or our team at home, our family. As you choose brave, you will empower those around you to choose brave as well. This is one of the most rewarding opportunities we have as leaders. You may be saying at this point, okay, Kristy, that's me, but how do I no longer allow these situations to paralyze and affect me like they do? We have to practice taking control of and taking captive those thoughts that are not serving us. 2 Corinthians 10:5 says, we are to take captive our thoughts and make them obedient. Obedient to what? To truth. The truth about who you are and about who you aren't. I don't know what words have been spoken to you that you need to uproot, but if you don't pull these weeds, they're only going to grow. Trust me. Just the other day, I had a situation that completely triggered me. I realized I had a very short amount of time to process what I was feeling and to make sure those negative thoughts didn't have time to get rooted in my heart and my mind. Those words being spoken to us are not something we choose, but what we do with those words is completely up to us. When you objectively observe your own thinking with the view to capture these rogue thoughts, you in effect direct your attention to stop the negative impact and rewire healthy circuits in your brain. We are directly responsible for what we choose to think about and dwell on, and we make these decisions in the privacy of our own thinking every day. Is what you are saying to yourself something you would say to your kids or your grandkids? If not, why do you think it's okay to say these things to ourselves? We need to talk to ourselves the way we talk to someone we deeply love and care about. Are you managing your mind? Or are your thoughts managing you? What are you believing about yourself that you say so often that it really has just become a part of who you are? Becoming aware of what we are feeling and thinking is perhaps one of the hardest habits to get into, but if we don't take the time, we will continue to reap the consequences of our unhealthy thinking, and our relationships will suffer. Our business will suffer. We suffer. So the question I have is, are you going to let your unhealed wounds and these hard things keep you from blessing others with their health or blessing your own family with this business? Or are we going to take ownership and take the time to face these wounds and heal and push through the hard? Leading others from a place of hurt can never produce good fruit. The degree to which we grow is in direct proportion to the amount of truth we can accept about ourselves without running away. These feelings that we really aren't ever going to measure up or be good enough, or that we're incapable of reaching certain goals, are just that, feelings. We've got to dig deeper to understand why we are believing these things. We need to start asking ourselves hard questions like, why was I so defensive just now? Why did that person's reaction make me feel so yuck just now? Have I felt this before in a past situation? And is this really maybe more of a 5 instead of the 10 reaction I just gave it? I really like this quote I came across. You cannot defeat darkness by running from it, nor can you conquer your inner demons by hiding them from the world. In order to defeat the darkness, you must bring it into the light. The faster you face the uncomfortable, the faster you can heal. Our thoughts can either limit us or what we believe we can do, or free us to develop abilities well beyond our expectations or even the expectations of others. I still remember my first healthy living event where I was going to be leading the talk, and I was feeling so incredibly nervous. I also remember the time Ethany challenged me to share a year into my journey in front of many seasoned partners for a training, a couple days, by the way, beforehand, and how I sat in my seat beforehand, literally doing breathing exercises, repeating over and over, Kristy, you get to be you. You get to be you, just to try to manage my anxiety. Or when I became a QNMD and was waiting behind the stage, and Dwana said, are you excited? And I was literally rehearsing my name and where I was from over and over, feeling so ready for that special moment to be over. You see, every time you choose the brave, it does get easier. Proverbs 23:7 says this, as he thinks in his heart, so is he. So what are you thinking about? Whatever you think about the most will grow. This applies to both positive and negative. Remember the child's book, The Little Engine That Could, where we would say, I think I can, I think I can. There's something actually scientific about it. I'm here to tell you, you have the ability to say, yes, I can, and yes, I will. One of the stories that really deeply impacted me in the beginning of my journey was hearing Harriet Salter share her story of her trip to Mississippi. If you haven't heard it, we have it recorded and can share it because in my opinion, it is priceless. I can't tell you how many times, especially in the beginning, when faced with rejection, I'd say, if Harriet could do what she did, then I can do this. Think about what would have happened if Harriet would have quit when she was dealt the situation where most of us would have just given up. So many people's businesses and health journeys would have a different ending, including my own. Yet she got back up and she said, yes, I can, and yes, I will. You have so many lives to change. Are you going to let your past, or maybe even your present, prevent you from doing all of what God has called you to do? Have you ever heard the phrase, catch for us the foxes, those little foxes, before they ruin the vineyard? Can I challenge you for this, something for this upcoming week? I want you to catch the foxes. First, be purposeful in catching those negative thoughts and do one of two things when you catch them. Either share them with someone you trust and process with them, or write them down in your notes or your phone or a piece of paper. It's like a muscle that has to be conditioned. The quicker you can catch them, the quicker you can process them in a healthy way and not allow them to cause your heart more damage.
Yeah.
I want to also remind you that God created you just the way you are, on purpose. You are not supposed to be your leader. I am not Ethany. I'm not supposed to be. I remember in the beginning of my journey how I would say in my head, and even sometimes out loud, I'm not good at speaking like Ethany. I'm not good at leading a meeting like Ethany. I'm not as polished as so-and-so. I do this too much. I don't do that enough. So incredibly critical of myself. Then one day, God reminded me, Kristy, you just need to be you and who I've created you to be. Stop comparing yourself. Stop focusing on all the things you're not good at. Stop coming up with stories in your head of what other leaders will think of you. It's amazing how quickly, once the negative thoughts begin, how they begin to snowball. And so often we don't even realize what has happened until we're in a not so good place. I know we all might be in different places as far as faith goes, but I have a question for you to think about. How do you think God would describe you if he introduced you to someone else? You see, it's really hard to love people fully in the way we were meant to love others if we don't love who God created us to be. I want to touch on one last thing. Part of becoming whole in this whole healing process is us no longer taking ownership for other people's stuff. So when that person, maybe even a customer, responds to you in a way that is unkind and hurtful, or maybe a friend judges your motives and accuses you of something that's not true, I want you to think about this. Out of the overflow of the heart, the mouth speaks. When you finally learn that a person's behavior can have more to do with their own internal struggles than it ever did with you, you learn grace. Pray for them, set boundaries if needed, and move on. We so often allow these situations to weigh us down and tear us apart inside that we really just need to release and let go of. I literally just had a situation I had to let go of this past week. The more we can let go of these things that we cannot control and focus on the things that we can, our heart will be able to have more peace. I have a few things I'd like to encourage you to do. I'd like you to think about who is in your life that is in your corner and can be cheering you on as you begin to take these brave steps. These are what I like to call skydiving friends, the ones who know us well, know what is hard and feels scary to us, but are the types of friends that will not only encourage us in this process, but aren't afraid to push us out of the plane. I'd love you to consider reading this book by Jerry Cesaro. It's now called The Emotionally Healthy Woman. It used to be called I Quit. It's actually a book that is beneficial for men and women. It has really helped me in my own personal growth journey, and I believe it will help guide you as you begin to grow in some of these areas we discussed tonight. In addition, I want you to daily write 3 things you are proud of yourself for this week. Start your day with celebrating yourself. Write 5 things you are grateful for. Each morning, ask yourself not what you want to do or have to do today, but rather who you want to be today and what you want to feel. Ask yourself these 3 questions. What am I letting go of? What am I grateful for? And what am I focusing on? The truth is this, without the hard work of working through my stuff, the stuff we all have, it just looks a little different, I never would be where I'm at today. I would have quit a long time ago. I definitely would never have said yes to Sharon to speak in front of, and just scared of failing or not being good enough. But you know what? There's only one of me in this world, and this world needs me to show up. This world needs you to show up. You matter. You have unique gifts that were given specifically to you, so you can bless others with them. You have walked through situations and had experiences that others may be walking through right now, and they need to hear someone on the other side say, there's hope. I'll end with this. I recently was watching a preview of a movie of a Holocaust survivor, and there's a line she said that just really hit me. She said, I don't like talking about it, but for your sake, I must. I want to encourage you to not let your pain be wasted. Others need you to be you and to show up. Now, go. Do the hard work. Dig deep and pursue healing. Take captive those thoughts. Reach that goal. Change those lives and be all that God has created you to be. That's all I got for tonight.
Thank you, Kristy. Oh my goodness, you have poured into us so beautifully. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And do the hard things. And I've taken 2 pages of notes. I saw some of y'all taking notes too. Was other people taking a note on a few things here or there? But yeah, really good stuff. Press into the hard, cannot grow our business unless we grow ourselves. And you actually said that twice in 2 different seasons. And I think we all know that. And has anybody had the sting of rejection ever in this business? Has anybody sting of rejection? Can anybody give an honest yes? Where it's like, we're all in this together, and I really appreciate you sharing your heart and what you shared tonight. So you guys can unmute. Yes, we've all experienced some sting of rejection. If not in this business, if you haven't yet, just go out there and share a little bit more. You probably will. So you guys can come unmute and thank Kristy for sharing with us tonight.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Kristy.
What a blessing.
Thank
That was
you.
beautiful. Thank you.
Thank
Love you guys. Have a good week. Thanks, Kristy.
Thanks.
We'll see you,
Yeah.
we'll see you soon. Have a
Bye-bye.
great week.
Thanks.
Good
Bye-bye.
night, everybody.
Thank you.
Thank you.